Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Saturday HOA Brunch, presented by Angius&Terry, LLP. Please sit back, relax, and join Brad Epstein and Jonathan Broderick for an hour of entertaining information about HOAs and HOA law.
Well, good morning, Sacramento. I'm happy to state that it looks like the sun is coming out. So hopefully we're done with the rain. What do you think, Counselor?
Oh, no way. I think actually there's going to be no rain until Friday. We need the rain.
We need the rain.
Remember 2 episodes ago when we were talking about drought legislation with respect to community associations?
Well, it was raining tears, I thought, last week in studio, right? Because we had Brian from Professional Parking Enforcement on and Bettina from Bank of Commerce Sacramento, and they told us their industry Valentine's love story. And we had people calling in we had the Master of Ceremonies, Rolf, call in. We had the Megan, who looked at the ring first at the airport when he was shaking in his boots. We had Susanna call in, who apparently was like Match.com.
Where's that show?
So it was, didn't you think that was a great little warm show last week?
It was a great show. Yeah, Brian with PPE, Professional Parking Enforcement. We had Bettina with Bank of Commerce Sacramento. And then the callers were Megan with GB Group, Susanna with Angius&Terry, Rolf with Omni. It was all industry folks. And Jonathan,
it was a hodgepodge of love.
What did you call it? You called it a
It was like showing our industries like a basket, right? We're all woven together and we're overlapping.
It is true. We have such a great industry. Everyone really loves to
The board members are the
community
eggs. We hold all of them in our basket.
Oh,
right.
That is sweet.
Hey, but I'm excited. Are you excited for today?
Oh, absolutely.
Because it's an election year. I posted on Facebook, we're going to have the president in studio today. So then I got a lot of calls last night. Everyone's like, Obama's going to be in Sacramento. And I said, no, wait a minute.
Close.
Let me take a step back. It's our good friend, Julia Plummer, who joined us today, and she was so gracious to postpone going to Reno to help her mother move into her new home. She decided that she needed to make it a priority to join us for HOA Brunch.
Now we just got her in trouble.
Yeah.
No.
Julia Plummer, Regional Director, correct?
Vice President.
Vice President of
don't
First
cut her
Service
credentials
Residential
short.
Community Management Company.
Yeah, so Julia, you've been with First Service now. Are we coming up almost on a year?
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, 2 years in March.
Time flies.
It is.
St. Patrick's Day.
Wow. Yeah. Before we got on the air, Julie and I were talking about just how fast time flies, especially in this industry. It's such a fast-paced industry.
Yeah.
So welcome, listeners. We're going to talk all about CAI. Julie, what's CAI?
CAI is a Community Associations Institute. It's a national organization that supports education and legislation for homeowners association industry, in particular board members and those who serve community associations.
Great organization, but it's one of the two that we just recently
That's
got
right.
back from CACM, which is also another organization that we participate in, Angius&Terry LLP and First Service Residential. And I saw you down there. You were going with your counterpart, Catherine Hendrickson, to San Francisco for a nice exotic dinner. How was the seminar for you, Julia?
The seminar was great. It always is. It's such a wonderful opportunity for amazing education that really is centered around California law and legislation. And it's also a great time to network with other like-minded professionals. A lot of really great people in attendance.
Right. So this is the California Association of Community Managers.
Yes.
This is their yearly legal seminar. This is what gives all the managers the legal background and knowledge, which really raises the bar, makes managers more competent. This
That's right.
really, both Julia, you and I have both been in the industry a long time, and we can really see how the professionalism has been raised as a result of CACM and also CAI.
Right.
It really makes managers more experienced, knowledgeable, competent, and ethical.
Yeah, and the difference is CACM is a California certification.
It is.
So if you want to get an education to be a certified community manager in California, that's one of the good organizations that you can utilize. Now, CAI, which you are the president of our North chapter now, and everyone's excited about that. Now, that's a national organization with a state state by state, there's different chapters that reach out in the community to educate and entertain, too. There's some exciting stuff we have on the event. International, that's right. Dion Stein would slap me. There's a chapter in South Africa.
Exactly.
Exactly. Well, you nailed it. That's exactly how it works. And CACM is specific to community association managers and their education. The law seminar that we just had last week is, continuing education courses so that managers can retain their certifications and get really important legal updates on legislation that just passed or legislation that might be in the pipeline. And then CAI is a national organization, and certainly there are a lot of chapters throughout, internationally, as Brad had said. And our chapter here is called the California North Chapter. And so we have national designations in education, but we also are required as managers who have designations to take a California-specific law course as continuing education courses to keep our certifications.
Well, listeners, if you want to join this conversation with Julia Plummer, Vice President of First Service Residential, call us at 888-923-1380. And also, if you just want to call us up and talk about community association law, the new court cases, or the new laws, or anything about management, because Julia Plummer has been a community association manager for many years. So I'm sure that she can give you some good information. That's 888-923-1380.
Yeah, and also, too, if you're a board member listening and you're looking for some free education and a nice meal, monthly, we meet at the Courtyard Marriott over here off of Tribute Road, and we're going to give you a free ticket to attend so that you can meet some of the... Yeah, free.
What do they have to do?
Call in. That's it. All they have to do is call in. They need to send me their social security number, 4 major credit cards. No, I'm just kidding. So they can call in. They can get a free ticket to the luncheon. So, Julia, before we jump into CAI, tell us a little bit about the company that you work for, First Service Residential. It's kind of unique, the synergy and camaraderie that your staff has in your Gold River office. So tell us a little bit more and elaborate about First Service.
Sure, I'm happy to. So First Service Residential is the largest management company in North America. We manage a lot of homeowners associations and have, as you had mentioned, Jonathan, just a great synergy, a wonderful company culture. And we really concentrate on providing excellent customer service to the people that we serve outside of our doors, but also to the people that we work with. And so, very important to us that we make sure that that we are just delivering exceptional customer service. Number one, first and foremost, and that we retain a really good company culture, which then helps us retain our clientele and our associates. So
I think one of the strengths of your company is that you are timely. And so as attorneys for community associations, we work with your managers and your boards. And since they're on a monthly clock, and typically, board meetings for community associations are monthly, some are quarterly. However, one thing that your managers do so well is to make sure that they provide the directions, the requests to us, the attorneys, soon after the meeting so that we can turn it around and get it back to the managers to give it to the boards before the next meeting, right?
Right. Very important. Very important. Yes.
And just do a really good job at that.
So you've been there almost 2 years now, Julia, and the company's growing. You guys are spreading out your wings in the Sacramento region and got some new talent that's been acquired and even some new clients. So that's got to be exciting.
It is really exciting. We're, these last 2 years have been huge for us. And we have obtained some, new clients who are just fantastic and some new associates who are fantastic to serve the needs of those clients. And we really are enjoying our growth right now.
Well, since you are the vice president, Julie, how long have you been in the business? How long have you been managing community associations?
Well,
you're going to make her throw a number out there? Jeez.
I was 2 when I started. I started managing homeowners associations in, many years ago, how about if I say that, with Sharon Massingham at Massingham and Associates in Newark, California. So just about 30 years ago now.
Bay Area girl.
Born and raised, Bay Area girl. Proud of it. And so managed with Sharon for quite a while. Took a little hiatus and went to commercial management and then back into association management.
Awesome. Well, it looks like we're going to go to our first break, but
great.
when we come back,
Good.
we've got a lot of information that we're going to pass along, including events that are going on this year with CAI, and also let's talk about the First Service Board Seminar. We'll be back.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Did you see the story about the Homeowners Association? I wonder what their residents think.
I don't know, but I love my condominium association. The place looks great and is well managed, and our property values are increasing.
Well, that's a good thing.
Community Associations Institute, CAI, has helped us build a great community. They have tools for safeguarding our investment, including education for our board and professional training for our manager. Just visit CAI at responsiblecommunities.com.
Okay, responsiblecommunities.com.
If your community association has a good relationship with their current management company, you can stop listening. However, if you are struggling with your current service provider, we'd love to talk with you to see if Omni Community Management would be a good fit. Transparency, education, communication, and trust are just 4 of the qualities that set Omni apart. This is Rolf Crocker, CEO of Omni. Call us at 916-965-8964. That's 916-965-8964. Online at omni-mgt.com. That's omni-mgt.com. Omni Community Management, your friend in the community association management industry for over 20 years.
Have you ever heard of the saying, a person's home is their castle? Of course you have. But sometimes a construction defect can turn your castle into a catastrophe. If this happens to you, you need proper and professional representation. You need Angius&Terry, LLP. For over 30 years, the attorneys at Angius&Terry have been effectively serving homeowners and community associations, recovering more than $500 million on behalf of their clients. Angius&Terry strives to ensure that your construction defect claims are prosecuted in an aggressive and cost-effective manner. Angius&Terry will also continue to work with homeowners and community associations after the construction defect claims are concluded to make sure that the money received from builders is spent wisely and that your interests are protected during the repair process. Don't let a construction defect turn your castle into a catastrophe. Call Angius&Terry LLP today at 916-567-1400. That's 916-567-1400. Online at angius-terry.com. Angius&Terry LLP. Professional Parking Enforcement, or PPE, was created to provide effective parking solutions for all types of parking issues. PPE focuses on parking problems of HOAs and can quickly eliminate these problems through their system of property inspection, violation updating, ticketing, and enforcement. Contact PPE today at 702-283-0628, online at ppenv.com. PPE, promoting harmony in HOAs through parking and compliance enforcement. We take time to understand your community's needs.
Silver Creek Association Management.
We solve small problems before they become big ones.
Silver Creek Association Management.
We help make your community a better place to live.
Silver Creek Association Management.
It's what we do, because an association is more than just a bunch of homes. It's a community of people. We work with you to make better communities so homeowners can enjoy better lives.
Silver Creek Association Management. Online at sc-manage.com. That's sc-manage.com.
AM 1380, The Answer.
Welcome back to the Saturday HOA Brunch. Listeners, you could call us at 888-923-1380. And what is it? The first 4 board members that call get to go to a free luncheon for CAI.
I want to up it. If you're a board member and you call in, the first one that calls in, what's it valued at for this big, exciting event coming up in March? It's Scotch Cigars, and what's the name, Julia?
Scotch Cigars and Q's.
And Q's,
so
right? It's a pool tournament.
$60.
$60. Guess what? The first
value.
board member that calls in, we're going to give them a ticket to Scotch Cigars and Q's.
How can you go wrong?
We can't. There's Scotch and cigars, and
Yep.
Julia was telling us how she just envisioned this great event that's probably going to snowball into something that's done at a lot of different chapters throughout the state.
Let's hope so. And the cool thing is that not only do you get a ticket to come in, right, but you get 2 drink tickets, and that will cover a flight of scotch.
Yum.
Mm-hmm. and lots of good food.
And there's going to be someone there
Sounds
rolling,
dangerous.
right?
Somebody is going to be rolling cigars.
Oh my
Fresh
gosh.
cigars.
Right?
And it's downtown at the Blue Q.
It's at the Blue Q right downtown.
Funky,
Yeah.
cool
I'm just
little
going
place.
to win the tournament, the pool tournament.
You're playing for real?
Oh,
Serious?
I'm playing for reals.
You
I got a
bet.
real partner and everything.
We
Yeah.
even have trophies.
What
Oh,
day is that,
fantastic.
Julia? That's on March. I know it's
Friday.
coming up in
March
March.
25th.
March 25th.
Right.
So go online. I think it's www.cai-cnc.org.
Yes.
And you can find out all the information and figure
Right.
out how to register, because this is going to be, I think, a really fun event.
I think so,
And I don't
too.
think you're going to win, Brad. I'm sorry. Unfortunately.
Well, that's competition.
You know
I
what,
have
Brad?
a-
I
How it
have
goes.
faith in you.
I have a
think
secret
you
weapon.
will win.
Here we
you
go.
and Dave are going to nail it.
All right. Well, let's get back to business. So, an important annual event is the First Service Residential Board Symposium. And do you want to tell us a little bit about that event that's going to take place next Saturday?
Sure, I'm happy to. Education is really important in our industry, right? Not only just for First Service Residential, but we're going to talk about it with CAI as well. Board education is primary to the success of a board. So every year here in the Sacramento region, we hold a board summit, and our board summit is coming up on Saturday. So super excited. We have a vendor expo, so our board members can come and attend. Right now, we have about 125 RSVPs.
Wow.
So, right. So, folks can come meet the industry professionals that serve their community, landscapers, attorneys, etc., and then have some great educational offerings. We have roundtable discussions. We have Karen Conlin coming in. She's going to talk about the
She's
legislative.
kind of a big wig that's been around,
She's
huh?
a big wig. She's
Yeah.
going to talk about the legislative process and the importance of board involvement in legislation. And then we have the remarkable Larry Pottis coming to speak. I know he's been on your show recently and a few times.
Yeah,
and
he has.
He's our keynote speaker.
Wow. He
What-
should be
What's
entertaining.
Larry going to talk
Excited.
about?
Larry is going to talk about building community and governance versus management.
And then we're going to have the attorneys, right, on stage, and we're going to
That's
go ahead
right.
and update everyone on the new laws. and the
Including
new-
Mr. Brad Epstein.
Including myself, exactly. I'll be talking about the drought legislation.
Yes.
New law update, huh?
New law update, both court
Yeah.
cases and statutes. So if you are a community manager, board member, and you want to get educated like this, then if you're with First Service, then every year you get this.
That's right. Yep.
Good event.
Yeah.
We participated in the event last year, and the turnout by board members was phenomenal. And when they were walking out the door, I don't think it was because of any booze, but they were just happy because they got a great they got to sit in an environment where everyone was wanting to engage with the industry professionals
Yes.
to gather information so that they could utilize it to enhance and protect the value of their communities, right? That's the goal.
Right. And I think one of the things that they really enjoy too is being able to visit with one another and kind of share their experiences and best
right.
practices. And I think boards really like to be able to interface with other board members and other communities and hear about challenges they've had, or talk about things that they've been able to celebrate. And it's just really a great dynamic.
Commiserate.
Commiserate.
Our assessments have to go up. What are you doing?
Right. Or what are you doing about the drought? Or how are you handling that, new law that, was enacted in 2015 where you have to test the pool water every day and,
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and soon another month, we're going to have the whole new slew of laws. I wonder what
Right.
we're going to get. A lot of board members are talking about electronic voting voting at elections. That's not allowed yet. Okay, so let's make it clear. I just added an inquiry actually from a manager. Said, are we allowed to vote electronically at community associations? No, not yet. We'll see what happens.
That's going to get interesting, I think, with all these board members with their Samsung Galaxy 6s out, electronically trying to vote on their HOA app, and then the election poll results come out, and there's confusion, and then people want to recount, and how do you challenge the computer?
What I like to do every show is I like to challenge Jonathan with a question.
Oh.
So my question to Jonathan is, what country allows electronic voting for their president?
I don't know.
What country allows electronic voting?
So there's
for
a
their
country
president?
that allows electronic voting.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, so
I'm
go
trying
ahead,
to
Jonathan.
think.
Which one is it?
I'm going to guess. Well, can you tell me what continent it's on?
Eastern Europe.
Eastern Europe.
Eastern Europe. So there's a country out there in Eastern Europe that does electronic voting, and so far so good, because someday they say it will happen in America. They're saying that it might happen in about 5 years.
With homeowners associations.
No.
Or us electronically voting in the United States.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
So you want me to throw a country
yes.
out there in Eastern Europe?
We're bated breath. We're wondering if you can guess. He's pretty good at guessing.
I'm going to say France.
Almost. Estonia.
Estonia.
It is Estonia.
All right.
Okay.
Well, you win this week. Congratulations. You belittled me in a radio studio. All right, Julia. So let's talk about CAI.
Oh, great.
It's an important organization to you. You've dedicated a lot of your time and service to this community. It's a nonprofit organization. And this year, you are the chapter's fearless leader.
For the Sacramento area. Pretty big area, though.
For the California North chapter.
Yeah. What is our region? It goes all the way up to Tahoe, up to does it go to the border?
It's like Chico, right? Or Eureka all the way up there?
Right.
The California-Oregon border, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Does it goes up to Chico, and then, the Elk Grove area. Then is I'm going to say
like as far west as Vacaville, Fairfield,
right.
that area kind of.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Community Association Institute, Julia Plummer, the president this year, doing a fantastic job.
I've got a whole month and a half under my belt now, so
hard and
thank
veteran.
you very much.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you? We've got this great calendar in front of us. Real quick, why don't we give the listenership a forecast of some of the upcoming events that we will be holding as a chapter? And of course, if you do show up at the luncheon, we'll make sure that you can get a photo op and an autograph from Julia while you're there. But go ahead and just why don't you rattle off some of the fun stuff that we do and what makes our culture so cool.
Great.
Right?
Good. Yeah, I know. I'd love to. We have a great lineup of educational opportunities for board members and for managers and other industry professionals. We also really concentrate, as I had said before, on legislation. And one of the most important things that we do is we celebrate. Right? So,
absolutely.
So we have lots of great opportunities for that as well. So in March, on March 17th, we have a great program coming up for our board members. It's called Aging in Your Community. It's being held by Marcia Van Wagner, who is a resident at Sun City Roseville and is a phenomenal public speaker. We've decided to make this event an evening event, so the dinner starts at 5 o'clock. And it's going to be from about 5 to 8 o'clock. And really, the idea is that we want to get as many community association volunteer leaders, we call them CAVLs, at the event. Keep in mind, if it's your first time coming to an event with us, it's free.
Where is it at, Julia?
It's being held at the Marriott.
The Marriott.
Yes.
All right, so if you have too
Sacramento.
much fun, you can get a room.
Real important subject, actually, isn't it? If you look around, you could see so many different buildings being constructed to help in the care of the elderly. Mm-hmm. And so many communities are actually active adult communities.
Right. A lot of active adult communities out there.
Next up in the forecast.
So then we talk about Scotch and Cigars, right? So this is one of those great events for networking and socializing.
Competition, apparently.
Little friendly competition and some cigars. And so that is being held on the 25th at the Blue Q, like we talked about. And more information on that can be found on the CAI website.
Right, and we'll be posting to the Saturday HOA Brunch Facebook page. We'll get a couple of calendared events up here. So if you need to, look back and you didn't write down all of your notes correctly today, don't worry. We'll have the information available to you.
And it's also on the website as well. If you just click on the CAI CNC website on the calendar, you'll get some information. For some upcoming educational courses for managers, we have what we call a PMDP course, which is a professional management development course, and that's coming up at the end of the month. Very important to go to. So, Brad, let's talk about the legislation day at the Capitol. How important is that? That's coming in April, right?
Oh, boy. Yes. So every year we have the legislative day, and it is super important, and we'll get quite a lot of folks there who are interested in learning about the new laws and helping make sure that these new laws are at the least, not detrimental to community associations,
Right.
and at the most, helpful to community associations. Ever since 40 years ago, when this whole structure with Proposition 13 and all that changed, then community associations have to take care of their own infrastructure rather than the states.
Right.
So we're coming to halfway point,
Yeah.
and we're digging into Community Association Institute. We're with
legislative
Julia Plummer,
day.
and so don't go away.
When we come back, we'll talk more with Julia.
Having trouble understanding your community association's reserve study? Does your HOA's reserve study seem to be written in a strange language? Hi, I'm Robert Browning, owner of the Browning Reserve Group. At the Browning Reserve Group, we have been providing easy-to-understand reserve studies since 1999. We actually listen to our communities and help them plan for the future. Find us online at browningrg.com. That's browningrg.com, or toll free at 877-708-0600. That's 877-708-0600. Clarity from complexity, the Browning Reserve Group.
If you are a community association or manager, you know your banking relationship is vital to your success. At Sacramento Bank of Commerce, a division of Redding Bank of Commerce, our industry expertise and personal attention make that task a breeze. With our specialized banking, lockbox, online banking, and remote deposit capture, trips to the bank are no longer necessary. And Sacramento Bank of Commerce can help your communities with a loan to repair, replace, or upgrade the investment. For local decisions and in-house processing, get in touch with our team today. Call Sacramento Bank of Commerce at 916-772-0131. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Did you see the story about the Homeowners Association? I wonder what their residents think.
I don't know, but I love my condominium association. The place looks great and is well managed, and our property values are increasing.
Well, that's a good thing.
Community Associations Institute, CAI, has helped us build a great community. They have tools for safeguarding our investment, including education for our board and professional training for our manager. Just visit CAI at responsiblecommunities.com.
Okay, responsiblecommunities.com.
If your community association has a good relationship with their current management company, you can stop listening. However, if you are struggling with your current service provider, we'd love to talk with you to see if Omni Community Management would be a good fit. Transparency, education, communication, and trust are just 4 of the qualities that set Omni apart. This is Rolf Crocker, CEO of Omni. Call us at 916-965-84. That's 916-965-8964. Online at omni-mgt.com. That's omni-mgt.com. Omni Community Management, your friend in the community association management industry for over 20 years.
News, opinion, insight. AM 1380. The Answer.
Well, we're back, and this is still the Saturday HOA brunch. And I look at the clock and it's 9:33, and we had a really important day we were discussing, and that is the day at the Capitol, right? And that's put on by CLAC, which is the California Legislative Action Committee.
Right.
And you were actually
For
served
CAI.
on that. For CAI. You
Yes.
served on that, right?
6 years, yeah. It was a lot of fun.
And I serve on it now.
And you serve on
And
it now,
Julia
Julia.
Plummer.
Delegate, yes.
Vice President of First Service Residential.
So this event last year, I remember it was great. I rode on a bus with a bunch of board members from Stockton. We came up. So then what happens is you actually sign up, and people from all over the state travel up, and there's this big force that all care and want to advocate for homeowners associations, led by our lobbyist, Skip Dom.
Skip Dom,
right? And
The
so
wonderful Skip Dom.
you go into the Capitol and you sign up for whatever area that you live in, and you get to talk to your legislator, and you get to get in front of them, and you get to say, well, this is why we want this bill to go through, and this is why we don't want this bill to go through. And the first day I ever got to lobby, so I put that on my LinkedIn, previous experience, lobbying.
Lobbyist.
Yeah. So that you're excited for that this year, Julia? You think we'll have a good turnout?
You know, I got to tell you, it's one of my favorite things every year is participating in legislative days. I love to sit in front of legislators or their staff people, as the case is usually, and talk about those things that are coming up through legislation that are detrimental to homeowners. A lot of times they're very well-meaning. There just isn't a lot of thought into the true impact impact in a homeowners association. So it's nice to, as an industry professional or a board member who is impacted by decisions, to be able to get into front of those legislators and say, hey, we really need you to kind of pay attention here. And how about if you just kind of change this a little bit or vote no?
Oh,
yes.
Absolutely. We have to pay attention. What they say is bad facts make bad law.
Right.
And you guys, come on. There's always stories about some bad incident, some homeowner disgruntled with the board of directors. You only hear one side of the story.
Right.
They go to the legislators, and this has happened at least on a dozen occasions over the last 20 years, and they'll go to the legislators, and next thing you know, up pops a bill, and unless CAI, CLAC is there to make sure that the law is, like you said, Julie, is tweaked at least a little bit to make sure it's palatable.
Or reasonable.
Reasonable.
Right? Well, here's the one. Here's a bill that everyone, I think, is kind of happy that it didn't go through, and you'll know more about it. And that's the one where they wanted to charge a fee for each document.
Oh, that's being recorded with the county recorder, the $75 fee?
$75 fee.
And so that law did not go through.
It did not go through. And I think that CAI and CLAC, they they earned credit for
It is important to community associations. We record so many documents. For instance, Jonathan, quiz question number 2 is, so the CCNRs, aren't they filed somewhere in particular?
With the county recorder.
County recorder. Nailed
nice
it.
Try.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah. So, but yeah, what did you think? Were you in favor of that bill going through, or were you glad that CLAC was able to squash it?
I think CLAC did a great job on squashing it, in that, again, community associations, we record so many, our law firm, it's like a mill for documents being recorded. We record so many different documents, easements, amendments to CCNRs, revised CCNRs, and therefore it would be another burden to associations and the owners as well. It's always passed from the association down to the individual owners, right, through assessments.
Yeah, so that's Legislative Day. You can find out more information on the CAI website about Legislative Day. That's coming up in April. Now, let's really jump back to kind of the foundation of what makes our industry and all the people that we get to work with, and those are the community association volunteer leaders out there.
That's right, yes.
So what are, how, Julia, can they participate more in the Community Associations Institute organization, especially in our chapter? What types of things do we have, or incentives for them to come and participate?
Well, I mean, I think that the first thing I'd want to say is participation really is something that the Homeowners Association itself should be very supportive of. It should be in the association's budget, board education, right? So board members, while
it helps the association.
Absolutely. While board members should always be able to rely on the community association manager or other professionals that serve their community, their fiduciary responsibility most times is to a multi-million-dollar corporation.
Nonprofit.
Right? And so education is such an important element of helping govern that community, right? So we've got all of these great opportunities for board members. We have the luncheons that we've talked about. We've got 7 this year. And again, you can check the CAI website for a calendar of those events.
Well, here's a great example, not to cut you off, Julia,
sure,
but
it's okay.
You talk about running a multi-million-dollar nonprofit corporation. The last luncheon that we had this previous week, you had an industry PCAM, which is the highest credential that you can receive, Bob Browning, and then you had Christina Keel, a very well-known insurance agent.
Yes,
from
Rick
Russo Insurance, one of our sponsors. Thanks, Rick, if you're out there riding around on your Ducati.
Another one of our sponsors. Thanks, Bob.
Yeah, thanks, Bob.
Thank you, Bob.
They came in and they did a presentation, and I think there was over 100 attendees.
There were, yes.
And they were able to educate, and I looked around and there was quite a few CAVLs around there.
Right,
in the room. And they can give you a
Thanks
topic.
To our membership committee, Jonathan.
Well, I try. So basically, they have gone up there and they gave everyone pretty much the 411 on how reserve studies and insurance can overlap and how you can look at those different things to help run a successful community. And that's only one area.
That's right. That's right. And so, that's a great segue into the depth of the information provided at these luncheons. These luncheons aren't social events, although there's great networking that happens. And again, we have a room full of people whose desire is to make sure that community associations are run well, either through community association volunteer leaders or those people who serve the communities. But the information and the education that we provide at those luncheons is so relevant and important to making sure that we're serving clients well, right? And that clients have the information and tools to be successful.
Absolutely. You don't have to come to Sacramento to go to one of these luncheons.
No.
We were just at a luncheon last week.
You spoke at a luncheon.
Stockton.
Yes.
And it was a fabulous one. They
Right.
the Stockton chapter actually has now a new tradition where they have a raffle contest for community association managers, and they get a ticket for every board member that they bring.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of my favorite board members brought one of my favorite managers, brought 9 board members. Yeah, the presentation there was fantastic. It was all about you're now a new board member. So now what? Now what do you do?
Right. Well, interestingly enough, we heard that the Stockton chapter was doing that. They actually had 45 community association volunteer leaders attend their luncheon, which is fantastic. Guess what we decided to do in the California North chapter? Starting next month, we're going to have a raffle for community association managers who bring volunteer leaders, but we're also, in addition to that, we are having raffles for community association volunteer leaders who attend. So there's a $50 gift card that we'll be raffling off, one to an association manager who brings a board member with them, and one to a board member who comes.
And it's a matter of convenience, too. We're all busy, and as a board member, we're not full-time, right? We have a day job, too, right? So
sometimes.
Right. They're volunteers, right.
But as board members, it's just during your lunch hour. You can carve it out. You could have a little bit longer lunch on just seven days a year.
Right.
And you could get so much out of it.
Right.
Now, do you know how many CABLs attended our luncheon, Julia, in Sacramento last week? I don't want to throw a curveball question at for you because we didn't, pregame for this, but it just off the top of your head, roughly 30 or 30, maybe 30 in there, 35?
I'm going to say we're probably closer to between 25 and 30. We certainly had more this month than we have. Of course, this is our first luncheon of the year that we just had this last Thursday, but we did have more than we've had previously, and we continue to meet our growth goals in our chapter, and that greatly in part is from the Community Association volunteer leaders recognizing the value of CAI, attending our luncheons, and getting that wonderful education.
So if you want to be a better board member for your community association, what should you do when it comes to Community Association Institute? Maybe you should join a chapter.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Join a chapter. Come, if you just kind of want to come and see what we do, come to a luncheon. It's free of charge for you to come for the first time. Come and visit with us and listen to our educational programs. We have a wonderful program coming up specifically for Community Association volunteer leaders. And that is a wonderful educational opportunity. I'm looking for the information right now. I don't have my reading glasses on.
Is that the one on March 17th, right at the Marriott? And that's the Board Essentials? Or are you talking about another one?
I'm talking about another one that's coming up. So I'll look for that information.
Yeah, that's fine. So anyways, when you come, we'll Google it or something. We'll figure it out. So when you come to these luncheons, we know that you're going to enjoy the educational topic. We know that you're going to be able to take some tools back to your community to utilize. Mm-hmm. And guess what? There's more. There's committees that you can join.
That's right.
That do community outreach.
Yes.
There's committees involved that set up and organize the calendar year for educational topics. There's a great magazine that's published quarterly that has articles written by industry professionals. It also advertises for various industry professionals. There's a community services committee which goes out into the community and does charitable work. There's even one day a year where about 40 people go out and volunteer for the United Way, the Day of Caring.
That's right. Yes.
there's the board of directors. If you really want to dedicate some time and jump into the hot and heavy politics of CAI, well, I don't mean politics in a negative way, but you are on a board that is making decisions on behalf of a nonprofit corporation, which is the little chapter. There's golf tournaments you can be involved in. We've already talked about the pool tournament that you can participate in. So if you're bored, maybe you need a new hobby. It could be CAI. That's what I think. You ready to go to break, Counselor?
I think we're ready to go to break. We want you to continue joining us for the last quarter of our great show with Julia Plummer with First Service.
We'll be back.
Rejuvenate, be inspired, refresh. Sound like some realities you want for yourself this year? Then embark this fall on a 15-day all-inclusive Mediterranean cruise of a lifetime with AM 1380 The Answer.
Sail the pristine Mediterranean waters with celebrity cruises on the luxurious Silhouette with thrilling stops in Rome, Naples, Jerusalem, Athens, and more. Come experience sights like the magnificent Sistine Chapel, the historic Western Wall in Jerusalem, the beautiful Greek island of Santorini, and more. This is not just a cruise. You will follow in the footsteps of key historical figures and be engrossed in the sights and sounds of the societies that established what we experience today in government, culture, and faith.
Come and visit the extraordinary cities of antiquity, 2,800-year-old ports, and more on a journey with the interactive vibrancy of faith and culture. Board the footsteps of the Apostles' Mediterranean Cruise, September 22nd through October 9th. For more information and to register for this once-in-a-lifetime trip, visit am1380theanswer.com.
Hi, I'm Morgan Fussell. My company, Broadband Agreements, negotiates cable television and broadband right of entry, access, and compensation agreements for your communities. At Broadband Agreements, we offer a free review of all agreements with a signed letter of authorization. Broadband Agreements will improve your community's income and/or savings, or you don't pay us a dime. Visit us at broadbandagreements.com. That's broadbandagreements.com. Or call me, Morgan Fussell, directly at 916-939-5026. That's 916-939-5026. Broadband Agreements online at broadbandagreements.com or 916-939-5026.
The challenges presented by today's economy and rebounding housing market is forcing many homeowners association boards of directors to operate their HOAs more like a business. It's a balancing act of trying to stay solvent and still provide homeowners with quality amenities and services. One of the main challenges HOA boards are facing is attempting to recover unpaid HOA fees owed by delinquent homeowners. Collection efforts are often very time-consuming. If you want to get the HOA fees collection monkey off of your back, call ATC Assessment Collection Group. ATC is an attorney-supervised collection company providing collection and foreclosure services to HOAs in both California and Nevada's most recognizable communities. Get back to what you actually volunteered to do as an HOA board member. Effectively oversee your community. Call ATC today at 916-641-1410. That's 916-641-1410. Online at atcacg.com. That's atcacg.com. ATC Assessment Collection Group. Professional Parking Enforcement, or PPE, was created to provide effective parking solutions for all types of parking issues. PPE focuses on parking problems of HOAs and can quickly eliminate these problems through their system of property inspection, violation updating, ticketing, and enforcement. Contact PPE today at 702-283-0628, online at ppenv.com. PPE, promoting harmony in HOAs through parking and compliance enforcement. We take time to understand your community's needs.
Silver Creek Association Management.
We solve small problems before they become big ones.
Silver Creek Association Management.
We help make your community a better place to live.
Silver Creek Association Management.
It's what we do, because an association is more than just a bunch of homes. It's a community of people. We work with you to make better communities so homeowners can enjoy better lives.
Silver Creek Association Management. Online at sc-manage.com. That's sc-manage.com.
AM 1380, The Answer.
Oh, I like that. Welcome back. So the last quarter And this is the Saturday HOA Brunch. Today with us is Julia Plummer, Vice President of First Service Residential. And we're going to finish up with talking primarily about the calendar for CAI, the California North Chapter. Right,
Community
Jonathan?
Associations Institute. We don't want to throw those acronyms out there that might
CAI,
sound like...
CLAC, right, exactly.
Sounds like a foreign
HOA
language.
Brunch.
So, Julia,
we're
why don't
excited
you...
to have her here. And so also we have the full calendar. So let's hear it.
Great, good. So I just want to make sure that we get these dates out there because I think that these are really wonderful, relevant educational opportunities for board members. And so here we go. So in May, we have May 19th is about insurance, and it's called Got Volunteers. So it kind of is talking about the importance of workers' comp insurance and what volunteers should and shouldn't be doing. And Garth Leon is doing that. It'll be a great conference.
Do we know who's speaking on that?
Garth Leon is.
Garth Leon.
Yeah.
Have you heard the name?
He's
one of our frequent guest hosts.
He's an alternate.
We didn't know that. He is, He's on the show frequently.
Garth.
Great speaker, great information.
Yeah.
You know, as an association attorney, insurance just goes hand in hand with the whole protect the association. Mm-hmm. The manager protects the attorneys, but you need that insurance.
Right, absolutely. And of course, for people to know what they should and shouldn't be doing, right?
Yeah.
Like, when does your insurance not cover you?
Exactly.
Right.
Or what also you have to, it's important, you know, do you have too much barbed wire or the uneven sidewalks?
Right.
You know, I just had this light bulb go off in my head. I have a feeling Garth's just getting ready to call in and talk about the Hyman case, you know, with insurance.
He loves that case.
Yeah, we don't want to interrupt the calendar.
Case.
So June 16th, this is a great one, Managing Conflict in Community Associations.
Oh, fantastic.
Our speaker for that is Deborah Warren, who is magnificent. We're super excited to invite Deborah to come in and talk with board members about managing
conflict. And Deborah,
conflict.
she's, who's she with, Julia?
She is...
Director of Board Training.
Director of Board Training for Associa.
Okay,
yes,
yeah, that's right.
And she's a fantastic speaker. Super excited about that. Then we're on July 21st, we have the Educational Luncheon, which is the art of negotiation. So Alan Crandall.
Oh, great.
Isn't he wonderful?
Don't know the name.
I think he's been in the business longer than you and I put together.
He has been around a long time.
Oh, such a nice guy.
So just a depth of knowledge and experience to bring with him, which is wonderful. And the ladies' tea is in July too, so that's kind of
And
cool.
we're doing our own ladies' tea, right?
We are so excited.
Wow.
Thank
I
you
usually
to the
don't go.
lovely Bettina for leading up the committee for that. In August, we have our golf tournament in Nevada, which is cool.
North Star.
We're going to a soccer game. Jonathan, membership committee's leading up a soccer
Republic
game.
FC.
What's that all about,
that
Jonathan?
Boards Essentials class that I was just talking about, that leadership development class is going to be in August too for board members. So that's really cool.
Busy month. Get off the couch in August.
Yes.
And hopefully find a cool spot.
Right.
What's the soccer game all about, Jonathan? What's that?
That's an event we started last year. Julia attended. We had about 86 attendees.
Right.
We just rented. It's just one of those fun outings that a great group of people
watch
do.
Our local soccer team,
and
Sacramento
support.
Republics, get out there and win. So September, we have our United Way Day of Caring on September 11th, and that's when we all come together and we serve our communities, right? Which is pretty awesome. And then our educational luncheon is called Building Community, and that is being presented by yours truly.
Wow.
Right.
Julia Plummer with First Service.
Talk about the importance of building a community that has firm but friendly governance, and working with our industry professionals, and how we can all work together very successfully and respectfully to move our communities forward, and again retain those property values. Right.
That is important, and I like to add too is this firm, consistent.
That's
and
right.
friendly governance, because you always want to make sure that you're not holding yourself liable for not enforcing your rules and governing documents consistently.
Right. That's right. Absolutely. October, we all get to golf, right?
Woohoo!
Sun City, Lincoln. So that's October 10th, and that'll be great. And then we have our legal forum, and that's in Indian Wells. So you're welcome to join us, though.
There's a lot of nice golf courses down in Indian Wells.
There sure are. And then in November is our all-important legal update. So that's when we do our legislative update every year in November to inform our board members of legislation that's going to take place starting January the next year. So all are very, very important. And
all
then,
the great new laws, right?
All of the great new laws, yeah. And we get to celebrate the work that CLAC has done in the year to help as much as possible mold those laws so that they benefit homeowners associations.
And then ends with a gala?
The gala, yes. The gala is going to be on the 1st of December, which is a great time for us to celebrate individual successes and collective successes and just kind of really come together as an organization and have a great time.
Well, Julia, everyone loves you in our industry. We love you. Thank you for taking time Thank you for taking time to join us again on a Saturday morning, and we look forward to having you in again this year.
Great.
Safe travels to Reno.
Thank you so much. Thanks again for having me.
Thank you, listeners. We'll see you next week.